Start your countdown to the most delicious Sunday of the year at Whole Foods Market. The Easter in Bloom event is on. Experience it in stores from March 29th through April 11th with irresistible deals and delights store-wide. Save on feast-worthy animal welfare certified meats like spiral cut ham and boneless ribeye. Then add a flash of green to the scene with savings on organic asparagus. Too busy to cook? Don't sleep on their crowd favorite catering. Find all of that plus Source for Good floral bouquets and more at your local Whole Foods Market.
Boobies.
Hello and hi.
Hello. Hi.
Hi, Diddley.
Diddly. Hi. What? No.
Sorry.
What's
no.
that one?
I
What's
think
he
it's-
say on Simplest?
The Simpsons. The Simpsons. Hi, Diddley
Diddly.
ho, neighbor, or something like that.
Oh, fuck.
I
I don't
just-
even know.
no.
I saw that there's a King of the Hill podcast
Yeah.
on Rogue Media
I saw
Network,
that
and
too.
I am literally so excited for that. I'm gonna.
I
I
haven't
can't wait to
seen
go
that show
listen
in
to all
such
of
a
it.
long time,
I love.
but I remember it. Yeah. Did you like that show?
Yes, I
A
loved it.
fan.
It
Yeah.
was always
Summer
on
Haykill.
right when I would get home from
Same
school.
from school. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same kind of vibes.
It was The Simpsons,
Yeah.
King of the Hill, and then it would go to something else. But
Like the people shows, like Seinfeld or something.
Yeah,
or like,
yeah.
yeah.
But by the time that my mom would get home, because we were like total latchkey kids, so like, you know, I was like 6 years old watching my 4 and 2-year-old brother watch
Mhm.
King of the Hill. I was like, here we go, we're gonna watch this.
Yeah.
And then
Hey,
taking us to the
cartoon.
public pool to teach us how to swim in inner city Dallas. What the fuck? Like, how? I don't understand how I'm not dead.
You've lived a lot of life
I have.
and in a very short amount of years.
And I would love to stop living it.
Ugh.
I'm just kidding.
Excuse
Kinda.
me. Excuse me, guys, while we intervene for a quick moment. Take a sip of that shiner you got there.
Yeah.
It'll make life all worthwhile.
It'll make me feel very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Well, hi and hello. Now I'm a full minute in. Now I feel like I'm alert. Okay,
There we
now
go.
there it is. All right.
my
Howdy.
name's Caitlin,
My name's Joshua.
and we are
Your boobies.
Boobies. That's right.
Yes.
A horror movie, spectacular, fun filled
Podcast show. Yep.
podcast show.
Something
Ooh,
like that.
Podcast show.
It's got a nice little roll off the tongue.
It does.
Mhm.
I like it.
Anyways, we're here to talk about your favorite or not favorite or something you haven't
In
seen in scary
betweens.
movies. Yes.
Yeah, this one I hadn't heard of it.
Me either.
So I am excited to cover it.
Mhm.
It is from it's again, well, I guess February would be technically done. This will come out on the 1st by the time this comes out, but we were a week late anyways.
Yeah.
So, but we are covering another black producer, and
It's directed
her
by
name?
Mati Diop.
Mati Diop. That's right.
Yeah.
So not only is it a black
it's-
producer, it's a female
Yeah.
producer.
It's her feature
Yay.
directorial debut as well.
It won, didn't it?
It
It
won
won
in
the
a-
Grand Prix at the Cannes Film Festival. And so that's really cool. And then Netflix bought it, I believe, because now it says it's a Netflix film.
Yeah, and actually she made history too because she was the first black woman to direct the film that was to be a black woman that directed a film that was featured at the festival, like
Mhm.
ever. Like she was just the first entry ever.
It's really fucking awesome.
And
And
then
it was
won.
her like debut film, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and then it won the
Yeah.
whole fucking thing. That's huge. That's really fucking awesome. I did find this article about it that I feel like was a really, really well worded.
Mm-hmm.
It's on npr.com or .org. I guess
Gotcha.
it's free. But it kind of gives like a nice little breakdown
Mm-hmm.
of like the actual,
Like a synopsis.
yeah, and then just talking about some of the actual like issues that are tackled
Mm-hmm.
in the film. This is a French. It's in
It's a French film. It's in French. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's subbed. So you have to read when you're watching it. Which I mean,
which I'm good at,
it was and it's also to like.
but it is hard to take notes.
when you're trying to keep up with reading
Yeah.
as well. I've noticed that because
you're
you're trying, same, because you're trying to actually pay attention to the visuals, but write notes at the same time.
Yeah, but Ringu like had such a lack of dialogue that it made it really easy.
Well, this one too, I wouldn't say that it was too heavy on the dialogue, but when it did have the
It was
dialogue,
fast.
it was fast, so you had to kind of pay attention. There were a few times that I had to like
I had to
rewind
a
10
few times,
seconds.
yeah. But so this little synopsis, I thought it was really well worded and worth the read. It says, in the new movie Atlantics, a group of young men set off on a boat for Spain from the coast of Senegal. They're fed up with their lives and they're like not getting paid and shit. And it's just really a fucked up situation. And they're trying to go make this
A better.
Yeah, they make this decision to sell to a better life. It says made the fateful and fatal decision to sell to Europe. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay. But it is a story of the woman that those men left behind, which, but then also simultaneously them. But
there's a
such
lot going
fucking
on.
strange situation.
There's a lot going on in this film.
Yes. And it's just, yeah, it's so, there really is. And all the like symbolism that goes into it is just insane. There was another, like, I liked that a little bit, but then there was another part that I really liked, which we can cover later. But
yeah, like I
it's
said, there's a lot, like as we get through it, there's a lot that was happening in the movie that you just had to really pay attention to keep up with like what's happening because like you said, also too, it's kind of like a love story / horror movie / ghost story. I was getting like you remember that movie Ghost with Patrick Swayze and like Whoopi Goldberg, right? Have you ever seen that movie?
no,
Okay,
maybe.
it was giving me kind of not necessarily those vibes. I think it has, what's her name in it, Demi Moore with the short hair. But I don't know, it's pretty popular.
It does. It has Patrick Swayze, Demi Moore, and Whoopi.
Yeah. But it was kind of giving me those vibes just a little bit, but kind of Body Snatcher at the same time. There was a lot going on.
Yeah, there really was. It was very good.
But like you said, that really covered it pretty well.
Yeah, and it was, this film keeps you pretty involved the whole time. Like there wasn't, it really keeps pace well, and it keeps
it's not
you
too long of a movie either. It's like
interested.
100 and it's like an hour and like 40 minutes, I'd say.
Yeah,
that's it.
but yes, it was very good. Anyways, they leave, like these dudes, like they just fucking dip, which is like so wild that none of them said
none of them said goodbye. So
goodbye. Like it was people's brothers, not only lovers, it was like brothers and obviously sons and everything. And they just like
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to like a good like dozen of them.
Yeah, I'd like to imagine that they, send back some money or something to these people, but I'm like, dude, you're sitting there saying like you have to work for your family. That's like one of their arguments at the beginning, and then they just literally abandon their family.
Yeah,
and
but I mean, also too, I think they were in desperation. Like,
yeah, but to not say bye.
Yeah, but I think it's also too like culturally, like it's not. It's a different setting. It's a different location. It's also where we have Ada, who's being married off to this one dude, and she doesn't even look like over the age of like 14.
Yeah,
to be honest.
Yeah.
And
really, I thought she looked like 19.
I mean, she didn't look that old to me. I mean, and she was still living with her family and her parents and stuff.
Well,
and
I think
the way that
is pretty culturally accurate.
And the way that they like tested her for her virginity test
that made me sad,
uncomfortable. But for her, but yeah, I think that's also too like. I don't think that necessarily. I don't want to say that there's a lack of respect, but like their opinion isn't necessarily like they're gonna go they're gonna go regardless of whether or not it matters of saying goodbye, I love you. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
But then they made it like when their ghost came back and stuff, they made it seem like they were kind of sad, like that they, and then it's like, I'm sorry I didn't say I love you, and it's like, well, like you can't just fucking say. Okay, let's get into it, because there's a part where he's like, I'll tell you tonight, and I was like, it ain't gonna happen tonight. Like,
yeah, so
you
basically
can't say
the movie starts with
a giant ass construction scene.
Yeah, pretty much these workers working on this big tower that's supposed to be opening up. And then it cuts to the same workers or the people that were working there trying to talk to like the bosses, whoever the people in the office are, trying to get money because they haven't been paid for 4 months.
Yeah, I liked the like very slow still shots too that it gave us of just life happening all around it too. And then with the different construction workers. But yeah, I put 3 months late on pay, about to be 4. Like, damn, I would be rioting. Like
way before that.
They'd be
But
burned down.
it's also yeah. And then the cinematography is really good throughout the movie.
The
it's
cinematographers,
by Claire Mathon is a French cinematographer.
Yeah, she comes with a lengthy resume in French cinema, including the highly anticipated 2019 release Portrait of a Lady on Fire, which I thought, that sounds cool. I kind of want to go watch it because the cinematography was, I liked how everything was kind of whitewashed at first and like how yellowed everything was. It just felt, it was very overexposed with like super warm tones, and it was nice. It made the like contrast, especially of their skin, really pop out. It was just very vibrant, but then also not. Like the scenes were so muted.
It was lit.
But then they were so like clear. It was very beautiful.
And in the scenes in between, like, because there was a lot of transitions with like the ocean and the scenery.
I loved every single transition
They were by the Atlantic Ocean.
Of the ocean. I was a big fan of that.
And so.
But anyways, you said before that there was something else. Or were we
that
just
they
talking
were
about the shots?
we were just talking about the shots, but they were all they're trying to get their money, but nobody's really listening to them, and so it's the way that they kind of leave out of there without getting anything, and then they're going to.
And it's a huge ass tower. Like this thing, it's a fancy ass building, and the owner's not paying them. I was like, hard pass. Fuck
and they have
that.
this long truck ride that I'm just like, okay, this is a really long truck ride.
It is. I liked because they did give you most of the like opening credits before the scene even starts happening. It's on a black screen. They just like get them out of the way. Yeah, I did too. But I still kind of liked that truck bed scene because you see there's just so much emotion happening, and then like you can see kind of like the turmoil. Yeah.
How everyone else is like kind of still, I don't know, like what you do with friends when you're like riding around and just kind of singing and like whatever, but he's just like really feeling the pressure, I believe, of like not having this pay, like coming back empty-handed, because he was really fighting. Like, it was one of the people who was like, we need our money, give me my money.
Rightly so. Again. But yeah, I liked it. Was kind of long, but still liked it. And then they get out of there and they're going their separate ways and stuff. The truck was taking them back to, I guess, they're somewhat where they live. And
their hometown.
That moment of them making the eyes between the train cars, I loved that. I thought that was really nice. It was kind of sweet too. And I mean, I wouldn't want to stand that close to a train though. It was like zoom in. That sounds too loud.
It's a little dangerous maybe.
Oh, that
just
sounds
loud.
too loud. Yeah.
It's just too loud for you.
I'm just uncomfortable.
I feel that. And so then we have is Ada, right? We have Ada and Solomon.
Yeah, it's basically like
it's Solomon, but the way it's spelled, it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
I like the way it's spelled actually.
It's very pretty. Yeah.
I'd never it's spelled like that.
I think it didn't finally. I just eventually start calling him S.
I call him just Sol.
Because I was like, it's a really long name with all the combination of everything, and then of course it keeps every time I typed it in, it was autocorrecting it to everything else, and I think I don't like actually get his spelling of his name correct until later on, but it's like SOULIEM
or something like that.
Oh yeah, SOULIEMAN, I believe. So it's like it's basically Solomon. Very cool. But yes, so those are our two main people. And after they get through the train cars, you hear her friend ask her, you're still seeing that guy.
Yeah.
And so at this point, you haven't like figured out that like she's about to get
She's
married in like
betrothed to someone
literally
else.
10
Yeah.
days.
Mhm.
10 fucking days.
And through an arranged marriage.
Yes.
Yeah. To another character named Omar, who just happens to have a lot of money and be wealthy.
Yes. And he typically lives in Italy,
Mm-hmm.
I believe is what it
For
was.
most of the time of the year.
Yeah, but then he's there for like 3 months.
Mm-hmm. That's what her friend was saying.
Yeah, just
Um,
you only
trying
really
remember her
have to
name.
be married to
Fanta.
him. Yeah,
Fanta.
for like 3 months. The rest of the time he's gone. And I
We'll
was
get
like,
to that scene. Yeah.
they were like
but-
right in his pockets. I was like,
Mhm.
yes.
She was looking out for herself too, 'cause she was like, "This is for us."
Yeah. They're
mhm.
like, we'll hang out in the house the whole time when he's gone.
yeah, literally. And
I was
so
like, bitch, you ain't getting married? Sit down.
she said it. She was like, "I'll be his second wife
Yeah,
or
she
whatever." She
said-
kept saying that.
She did say that. And I was like,
Yeah.
I would be a little bit worried about my friend coming in there.
Yeah, no.
I'd be like, she gonna still own.
Yeah, even though she didn't want him.
Mm-hmm. But she
Um,
wants that money. Which, I don't blame her.
And so we have them doing the whole. They're on the beach and they're talking, making
He's saying
love to
such
each
sweet
other.
things.
Yeah.
He's like saying like, you're so beautiful. And she's
Mhm.
like, stop joking. And he's like,
Mhm.
you even more so, like today, every day I see you
Sweet
basically is
nothings,
you're
yeah.
just so much more beautiful. And he's like clearly so smitten with
Mhm.
her. Very
and her
much in
back
love.
with him as well.
Yes. At first she seems not as in love, like as
Mhm.
to what her body language and everything displays later.
Mm-hmm.
Because at first I was kind of like, she feels like, oh, this is kind of like a plaything. And I'm like, no, this boy would like lay down his life for you right now.
Yeah.
This boy is obsessed.
And you got that from like 2 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Mhm.
she was kind of being like playful a little bit, and it just didn't seem
Mhm.
as serious on her end. But then, like, as the movie progresses, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, no. Like, she
You understand.
so much
She really
fucking
does
loves
love him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But also too, it's just, I think she probably had a lot going on in her mind
Oh,
and her
yes.
plate with like
With the fact that
The
she's
whole-
literally
literally.
getting married in 10 days.
to someone else.
I feel like it would be a little hard.
and she
maybe.
really loves him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd struggle a little bit. Because then, yeah, knowing, like, of course she's thinking at this point, she's thinking he's going to stay.
Yeah.
And, I mean, she can't lead him on like that, I guess. Or I guess they
But
can't
either
just...
way, she still was like acting upon it. Like she's still engaging in like being in
Oh, yes.
whatever.
No, like,
it
they
is.
probably would have
Mhm.
continued to have some
Yeah.
sort of affair the whole time.
Mhm.
Especially, like, he
Because
could have
then
just
right after that,
stayed
her
the
friend, one of
whole
her
other 9 months.
right, but and then right after that, one of her friends is like telling her to like chill out, like you're literally about to get married to someone else.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, Mari
Marimar or something like Maria Mar
I
Mariama.
think is what it is. And yeah, she's like the voice of reason
Mhm.
the whole time. She's like, girl,
Yeah.
you can't be doing this.
She goes to go see her because she's getting her wedding dress from her
yes.
in that bag that said Novia on it.
Mm. He gave her, and like, so they were like literally about to fuck outside. They
Mhm.
were like broad
Mhm.
daylight.
Yeah.
They were finna fuck. But then they get caught
Mhm.
and they stop, and he gives her his necklace
Oh, that's right. Mhm.
and says like, "You're the loveliest." And I was like, what a sweet
You're such a
sweet
sap
man.
these days,
I
Caitlin.
am. I know. I hate it. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I do actually.
Mhm. Come on now.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Um.
And yeah, so he gave her the necklace. He's like, "You're my lovey cupcake, whatever,
You're
whatever."
my
Something
cuppy
like
cake
that. Mhm.
drop sugar.
All of that.
Gums.
All that sweetness. And then I guess after that is when she went to go get her wedding dress.
Oh yeah, and that was where he had said, I had mentioned it earlier, that she was like, "Wait till tonight," and I
Oh
was
yeah.
like, I was
Mhm.
like, "Bitch, he ain't gonna make it tonight, baby
Yeah.
girl. Like, we
Well,
ain't got no time."
Mhm.
Ugh. Oh, and then okay, after this, it flashed to this scene of the ocean, and it looked like I had to stare at it for a second because it was a really long like transition,
Mhm.
but it looked so still
Yeah.
that it was almost like haunting with how little this whole, because it was a very panned out shot of the
Yeah.
ocean.
And even the music in between that's playing in most of these transitions
So
too.
good.
It's like very instrumental.
Mm-hmm. I really like the soundtrack. I didn't like notice it per se. I mean, there was a few times where I was like, "Ooh, yeah, that's nice," but it was so like just well integrated that it.
Yeah, there was one part where I started like counting like, because I'm such a band nerd kid. Like
Oh, yeah,
at one
yeah.
point I'm like counting like 1, 2, like 4 counts, like because there's one part where this one was like going every 2 measures, like in the background. And I think it was whenever like the girls were leaving, when the girls were all ganging up together and they went to that house, when you first noticed that they all have like whatever, like,
oh yeah,
like
so
possessed. Cool. And so it was that part, and I was like,
yeah.
whoa, yeah, it really added to like the suspense of like what the heck is going on.
This
here?
soundtrack was so good.
And so yeah, she's getting married, she's getting betrothed, she's getting ready for it. Her mama,
I did not realize it was 10 days. Like I just like from the premise of the movie, I was like, okay, she's getting married, and but I didn't realize like
how fast.
When I saw when her mom was like, you're getting married in 10 days, I was like, fuck. Like,
because she was
shit.
And then she's at home, she sees her grandma, her mom's like, call Omar, which is the guy she's supposed to get married to because he wanted to talk to you or something. And she's talking to her, and then she's like not like talking to him like very nicely or sweetly, and then her mom's
just very matter of fact.
Yeah, and then her mom's like, is that how you talk to your husband to be? You need to
she was
be
like,
sweet
you
on
better
him,
be careful, otherwise he's gonna take a second wife
before you get pregnant.
Yeah. And then she, you know, says the typical like so many women would kill to be in your place, basically. And then Mariama before was talking to her, and basically she was like, you are being a dumb bitch, but I will keep your secret. And I loved it. I was like, that's a real one. Friend. That's a real one right there. She's putting you in your place, like saying like, nah, girl,
you should do this, and this, but she's stupid. Also just gonna let you make your own decision. And
regardless, I got your back.
Yeah.
She makes it known, like, so that way in the end, the person can't come back and be like, why didn't you tell me? Yeah, and then she'll be like, bitch, I told you so. I told you. Cover her own ass. Anyways, Mama was savage too with everything she was saying. I was like,
it's true,
lady. God, but I mean,
everybody has a bit of a point.
Yeah.
Because I mean, she's caught in like a really not it is awkward, but like in a hard situation. I don't know. Yeah.
I can't imagine being in an arranged marriage. No.
I mean,
don't want to marry people that I like.
Yeah.
Ever,
and I mean, I get it that I mean, there's some people that actually, you know, it's like custom and they are okay with it, but like in this situation,
they do learn to love each other a lot of the time.
But in this situation, she obviously wasn't.
Yes. And then also a lot of the times they don't learn to love each other, and it's really bad. So it's not for everyone.
Either way,
I personally would be very against it because marriage is terrifying to me. But then B, I ain't about to marry no rando I just found.
It's a very big commitment.
Yeah.
It's a huge step.
That's why like Love
There's
is
a
Blind
lot to consider.
Is wild to me.
Because Love is Blind?
Yeah.
That new show that you're talking about?
Oh,
or like,
well, the second season just came out.
Yeah.
I liked the first season. I went over to a friend's house on Friday night, though, and they were finishing the last episode of the second season.
Oh, no, so it ruined it for you?
Yeah, I literally see who gets married, who walks away. And I'm like, damn it, I'm going to have to wait. Because I had every intention to go watch. Because I was like, I'm a little whore for that shit.
The first season, I remember I watched it because Nancy was watching it. And it was pretty good.
I ate that shit.
It has that really cute couple that's still a couple.
Yeah, they are. And then the really annoying couple is, we looked it up, they're still together too.
Oh, really?
I was like, damn, really?
Oh, the ones that kept fighting?
Were they fighting? They were like...
I don't know.
I
don't know.
Anyways.
Yeah.
We'll catch us on our Love is Blind podcast.
We'll get off topic. So it's we're going to there's a party at a club. Basically, well, there is a club and there's something happening.
Yeah, she's getting all dolled up.
It's not necessarily a party, I guess, because it seems like this is just what happens.
It's just their meetup spot, like out. Where they all go and they hang out
and drink and listen to music, dance.
I really like while Ada is getting ready, that like broken mirror that she's using to actually like apply her makeup and everything. That shot was just so pretty. Yeah, it's very pretty. And then I think it's very telling. The movie focuses on mirrors a lot, and it comes in heavily at the end.
It does.
So that was one of the first major parts where it really focused on it, and
because it's foreshadowing how much the mirror is gonna matter in a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, oh my God, I clicked on the wrong thing, y'all. Sorry.
And so, we have this little party going on.
While she was sneaking out. Yeah, while she was sneaking, I said, the girl wearing white pants to crawl out her window? Brave. And then she gets to the club, and I was like, oh, JK, it's blue jeans.
It's blue jeans.
But I was like, girl, you crazy? Wearing white pants to sneak out of your little dirty window?
The trick is to have something else and then have those in a backpack. And then you can change into the white pants.
But it was still a very light wash blue jean. I feel like anything would show on that still.
Yeah, but it probably wasn't their first rodeo either, so it's probably something they've been doing for a while. But yeah, they're all at this shindig, whatever's going down, and it gets ruined pretty. Well, they're all kind of talking, and
Ada walks
whatnot.
in, and you're really looking through her point of view
Mm-hmm.
as she gets in, and you're seeing. At one point, I put like people at the bar looked like maybe they were crying because the bartender was handing them some napkins and stuff, and they were kind of dabbing their eyes, and so slowly, and you realize that there's no men,
Yeah.
like it's only women in
Something's
there.
up. She's like, "What? Where's all the guys at? It's nothing
Yeah.
but girls."
And we
then-
knew that she was going to meet him, so we
There.
were like,
Mhm.
okay, they late.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And so then that's whenever who tells her? Is it
The bartender
The-
comes up, who I think is Dior.
Dior?
Yeah.
Yes.
So Dior comes up, and I was like, ooh,
All the men went out to sea.
yep.
Mhm.
And she's just like, all of them are gone.
Yeah. They
Yep.
left.
End
And
of
it's the way
story.
that everyone there is just like, oh, like sad and crying and like, and it's like, I'm like, oh, damn. Like, there was really like all the men literally left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was like a handful, like probably 20 women
Mm-hmm.
sitting in there. And some of them, one woman is getting pretty upset at Dior, even though it is not Dior's fault.
Yeah.
But getting pretty upset at her, being like, that's my brother and stuff.
Mhm.
And so that's when you see that it's not only like the lovers that have left, like people have also lost like their actual family members
Yeah.
and stuff too.
I think for me, you mentioned the pacing earlier. For me, it kind of did like, it happens kind of fast.
Mm-hmm.
In a way where it's like, oh, okay, this is we're moving on to like they're just literally gone. They're like the men are out to sea, and it's the way that I thought maybe we were gonna get like some sort of like shot of maybe the men out there. In
Oh,
the
yeah,
boat,
I
or the,
really was
like,
fully
I was
expecting
hoping
that
to
every
see
time.
Something,
But I kind of
and
like that.
Then it didn't show you anything at all.
Yeah,
They're just gone,
it
and they
it makes-
assume that they're dead.
it makes them we're seeing it through the women's perspective,
Mhm.
which it's not a film about the men who've left. It's a film about the women who were left behind and everything that they're feeling. And it, in my opinion, makes them feel more like ghosts
Mhm.
because we only got that short snippet of them at the beginning. And I love how focused it was on them
Yeah,
until
the ending.
we get to Ada, and then it's all about her.
And
And
her part and how she's feeling and how she's handling the situation.
yeah. And so them just like up and leaving, I thought was really good.
Mm.
I liked it.
Mm-hmm. No, okay, yeah, I feel that. I see your perspective. I think for me it was just more like, just it was happening really fast, but it's also too all this stuff is happening within an hour and 40 minutes. So you have
Yeah.
to like make it go. So yeah,
It does. I mean, there was a lot of times where I was like,
Mhm.
oh shit, okay, they're gone right now,
Mhm.
and or like, oh, this is happening. Okay, this is right now.
Mhm.
It does have some very harsh transitions, but not a lot of filler. It's just
Yeah.
very like,
That's
this
true.
is a fucking story. Here you go.
Mhm. And then we get to her. She's kind of going through this like it's montage-ish, but ish of like her the ocean and then different like transitions and then her like praying
Mhm.
for Saul to return or just like something just
Oh
saying
yeah,
her
she
prayers.
goes. She lights a candle for him
Yeah.
later. Yeah,
It's kind of like ritualistic looking.
it's a lot of.
almost.
This part has a lot of almost empty scenes,
Mhm.
which again I think is very telling for how their emotions were.
Mm.
There's a lot of just you're
more
getting,
symbolic.
shots of these women just like literally staring blankly, and I was like, that's what when I'm in a real bad
Mhm.
mental state, like I'll just sit there and like stare, and then I'm like, oh fuck, it's been
You're kind of
2
like
hours.
numb.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I was like,
Zone
I know
out.
exactly what it's like to be there. And then you're getting like shots of the empty houses, the empty beds that the men have left behind. Is it Ada or Ada? Ada.
I want to say
Ada? Ada.
Ada. It's
Okay.
Ada.
Okay. I think I've said both
It's Ada.
and everything in between. But Ada, like walking on the beach, and I think that's pretty symbolic, like, because they left that way, and then
Mhm.
she's walking alone, and that was where they were together earlier
Yeah.
and everything.
Kind of
and-
almost made you feel like that was their place. Like we only got to see them there that one time, but maybe they did that often. Like that was
Yeah.
their hangout spot, like in secret, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it definitely was.
Mhm.
And yeah, so it made you feel very alone
Mhm.
with how everything was shot, and I just really liked that. But yeah, she's lighting the candle. It does seem very symbolic. I was like,
Mhm.
oh,
Or almost like she's like,
or ritualistic, like you were saying.
or almost at that point, like like honoring his death or something in a way, like almost like okay, he's
yeah, I was
dead.
like, is she lighting a candle for him? Like, because she doesn't know he's dead yet.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know that they're
They
dead.
really
until...
don't know. No, it's just that. Well, yes, they do, because right here is right after that, right?
Yeah, they say that, but she definitely doesn't know until later.
Yeah.
Because I thought, oh, okay, she knows. But then whenever they were talking about seeing him at the wedding and stuff,
yeah,
she was like, they didn't know yet that they were dead. That, I think, was just a way for them to let us know that they were dead.
You're right. But maybe also, correct me if I'm wrong, I thought there was a part where she was voicing over, and she was saying where she's like, they found his body in the fisherman's net.
Yeah.
Was that like, so that wasn't for real?
Yeah, I don't think she.
Oh, okay.
So it is for real. I think that is a thing that happened. I think they just gave it to us then because I don't think all of them realize that he's dead until later, because when they're questioning him or her throughout the whole wedding and stuff, she doesn't know where he is.
Yeah.
And
she's just like, he went out to sea. He could be in Spain, or he could be dead, or he could be anywhere. Yeah.
She doesn't know. None of the people know.
Mm-hmm.
And because like the mom
because she's also getting the text too.
Yeah. And when they go to meet the mom, like his mom.
It's true.
Because I was like, oh, okay. Like, damn, they found out fast.
So as you can tell, you guys, you got to pay attention to this movie.
Yeah, you do. You do.
But yeah.
That's what I got out of it, though. At first, I thought they knew, but then as I like went through it, I was like, okay, no, they don't know. That was just to let us know that he's dead.
So she is depressed. She won't get out of bed. She's not eating, and like it's Mari's trying to get her out of bed.
Yeah, Mariama's there, and then Fanta and Dior stop by the window, and they're like, "Girl, you gotta get out. Like, let's go on a walk. Come on, do something." And they're just trying to get her out because she's depressed for sure.
She's sad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is understandable.
I would be too.
She's feeling the feels. Yeah. And so then
he literally ghosted her.
Literally. Outs.
He died.
Yeah. So sad. Tragic, really.
It is. I shouldn't laugh. Why am I laughing?
And so she at that point then we transition to she's with Omar, right?
Well, she wakes with the start, and this is where we get the shot of the sea saying the old fisherman.
That's right.
She's telling this like story of how these old fishermen return with the super full net, and everyone they're so excited. They're rushing down to go see what all they've caught. Yeah, all the kids, everyone. And it says, but it's not fish that they see, it's Solomon's body. And then so we get that whole monologue there where, as we just talked about, is to let us know that he's dead, but it is voiced with hers, but I feel like it is a
more narrative.
Yes, like because at the end we end with a like narrative of her too, and saying like of who I am, who I will become, and everything. And so I feel like this is essentially her telling her story, and she let us know there, but she doesn't actually know yet
of what's happening.
Yes,
or what happened.
But then it flashes to this fancy place, and we meet. I was like, "Is this Omar?" And I had to only assume it was, but.
Because she never really mentions it.
Yeah, I think eventually she calls him or something by that, and it's like, oh, okay.
But yeah, they're on like this pier dock boat thing.
Yeah, I don't know, like some sort of resort.
You can't even really tell. Yeah, something like that.
Right on the ocean.
There's a funky little statue.
Yeah, it
big
felt like
head.
it was like a pier. Oh yeah, I put this weird, creepy cheese face statue.
Yeah,
it had little holes in it.
Right
and
there,
stuff.
right on the. Standing at the end of it, so like it's just like it looks like it's floating above the water almost. Yeah,
because it's like it looked like it must have been some sort of
like
pier.
Those stone. It looked like Squidward's house from SpongeBob.
Yeah, it did. Those
little,
those
you
like
which look
you
like
give me
stone
gum from Easter Island.
Yeah,
Easter
there
Island.
you go. Yes, from Nightmare. Oh God, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Almost a national treasure. Fucking Night at the Museum.
Yes, we got it. We got there. We found our way.
Nightmare on National Museum.
That should be a thing. The crossover that we didn't know needed to happen.
Freddy's coming through. We've got Nick Cage.
Can you imagine like a museum with a all the horror like things, like villains and all that in a movie, but like it could
and then they're coming to
and
life.
then they come to life and someone gets trapped there.
Oh shit!
That'd be a
and
cool
you're having
movie
to fight
make.
like
All of
Freddy
them.
and
Yeah.
Michael. Oh shit!
That'd be really cool.
Okay, Hollywood, where the fuck you at?
Make it happen.
Come on, we told y'all this.
Like almost like a Cabin in the Woods,
Copyright
but like not
TM.
a Cabin in the Woods. Like a Five Nights at Freddy's, but like adult with like all the horror villains.
Okay, I've never seen Five Nights at Freddy's. My students the other day were posting in their little group chat. They're like, I'm going to start a Five Nights at Freddy's like club. And I was like, what the fuck?
I've never played it. I just know what it is.
Oh, it's a game.
It's a game.
Oh,
yeah.
what?
No,
I don't
well,
even know.
well, actually, it was I'm just like the chicken or the egg, but I'm pretty sure it was actually a YouTube series first,
Okay.
but it just became
Doesn't
so
it have,
popular
like, a
that now
bear
that they've
or
made
something?
it made it a game. Yes,
Is
where
there
it
a
was always the
burger?
game, and then it just
Maybe I'm just
became.
thinking of Freddy's, the burger place. I don't-
It's good though. I love their burgers and fries,
Their French
and their
fries are
sauce
the
is
best.
great. Yeah, they're so crispy and
Little
small
shoestrings.
and skinny.
I'm hungry.
And so, yeah, we're getting back to this movie, right? The movie's happening, and she's with
Omar
Omar.
got
He
her a
buys her a
fancy phone.
It's like an iPhone.
It was a straight up iPhone. I
yeah.
said they got Apple in on this.
Mhm.
They didn't make it a peach or
didn't.
nothing.
No,
That
maybe
was an
there's
iPhone
different.
box.
Maybe there's different, like, because it's a French film and not an American film. Maybe there's
Maybe.
a different, like, they don't have to, there's
Nothing matters.
Yeah, maybe I don't know. Maybe they wouldn't have.
All bets
gotten
are off.
exactly or sued or anything. But yeah, he's talking to her. He's kind of like, what's wrong? Because she's like not vibing. She looks like she's literally having the worst time of her
Yeah,
life.
she looks absolutely miserable.
Yeah.
And I mean, what a fucking dickhole. He literally tries, he's like, what's wrong? And then she's like, nothing. And he's like, okay.
Yeah. That is it.
He gives up so fucking
he
fast.
wasn't interested. He doesn't really care at the end of the day.
Yeah.
He really doesn't. And he's just like getting more drinks at the bar or whatever.
Those drinks did look nice and yummy.
And then, yeah, I think I put here transitions are weird. I don't know what happened there, but there was a transition that was probably weird, or I don't know what it was.
I put, yay, the shot of the sea with the dissonant music is lovely.
Oh, so it must have been that.
I think it was.
That's hilarious.
I was
the one part
living
where I was
for,
like, this is kind of weird how it changed.
it was
switched
some
up.
really, the music there was very like,
I think that's why. Yeah.
and
it was like, it gave it a
I
lot
loved
of,
it.
like it was like nails on a chalkboard kind
Yeah.
of like, it wasn't that sound, but I mean
Yes.
like it was like that, like it made me
There
feel
was no
uncomfortable.
resolve.
Yeah.
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 Whenever music is sitting there happening
Mhm.
without that nice harmonic resolve, it's just like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, and so it does. And then it morphs into the chanting and clapping of women.
Of
and
the wedding happening. The
yeah,
ceremony.
it took me, I did not realize that was a wedding at first.
Yeah.
I was just like, man, all these women coming out, they are dressed up. They looking
Mhm.
nice in the little dresses and stuff and clapping and chanting down the road.
Yeah, they all looked really great, and they were
Did.
chanting, and then it's like, yeah, it's the way out to me too. I was like, oh, is this a party? What's happening? But
Yeah,
then
I
I'm
put,
like, oh no,
is
it's a
this
wedding.
the wedding? Question mark.
It's the wedding. And so it's the way that this wedding happened. She gets married to.
She literally
Omar.
looks like she's in mourning when they pull her
Yeah.
out of that car because she's got this like black
It was
shroud
actually
over her face.
really cool outfit though.
It was,
really
yeah,
cool
no, it was
dress.
cool.
Yeah, but yeah, it looks more like a funeral outfit than
And
anything.
it was a wedding sitting down.
Yeah.
They were all sitting down. I was like, this is nice. We need to adapt this.
If I ever get married, I'm gonna do it sitting down.
Yeah, we all gonna sit.
I don't need to stand.
Just kidding. I will not be able to sit in whatever dress. Actually,
What contraption?
yeah. Who knows what my dress would be?
and
I just gotta make sure
so-
I can eat in it
Mm-hmm. That's a very
and
a
not
dance
look like a hippo. Oh,
at the party.
I'm not like the best dancer
It doesn't
unless it is
matter.
like ballet or
Do it. Do a ballet. Do a pirouette.
sing in my wedding gown.
A high plie.
Mm,
I don't know
a
what
high
any of the.
plie.
Yes, a high plie.
So a plie is when you squat. You can do a grand
Oh,
plie,
that's
which is
right.
like,
Yeah.
which is super low. But a high
Do
plie,
it.
maybe if you were in tendu,
I want
as
you to
went
jump off of
plie.
a box and go into a high plie. RuPaul style.
Sachet. Oh, wait.
And then so yeah, we have then cutting to the scene of like, or what I really liked was the scene of them
In the fancy room.
Yeah, Ada is taking all of her friends to her new bedroom, and it's really nice. It's
Yeah.
really pretty, and it's the way that at that part Fanto is being like, "Oh, this is really nice. I'll
She
be his
said-
second wife."
She said, I've been seduced by the bedroom.
Literally, she was like, "I'll marry him." and she's trying to take a picture with Ada, but Ada doesn't want to take pictures, so she's just like taking selfies of herself, and she's just
Ada's like so clearly unhappy here.
Yeah.
Because
She's
then
annoyed.
all three of them,
start taking pictures.
Fanta, Dior, and I don't know who the other girl is now. I don't know, but they all sit there. They take a selfie together, and then Ada's just standing in the corner like.
And that's the way that, like, she asked her, like, Fanta asked her, and like, come just take one picture, and she said, didn't you hear me? I said no, like I don't. Yeah, very clearly was like, I don't want to be in the picture. I'm not having. This is not a celebration. Yeah, and I think she's also bothered by the fact that like they're like Fanta's basically just being like, man, like anybody would kill for this. Like I would.
Exactly,
would
like
this.
Everything her mother had just told her and stuff.
Yeah,
like I
so
wouldn't want
she's
to hear that
annoyed
either.
by that as well too. Yeah, because she doesn't even want to be there.
No.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's I don't know. I would be.
It's like someone telling you should be grateful when you like, I didn't ask for this. Like I didn't want this.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Exactly. And here in this scene too, we get quite a few reflection shots of the nightstand mirror. It's what is that called? A vanity. It's like a vanity there, and so you're getting to see Fanta through the vanity and everything too. And with that shot, I thought that was another nice highlight on a very subtle highlight on the mirror, because some of them are more like in your face, and this one was very like subtle, but then it was
because I didn't really even catch that, so you caught that, so it was pretty fast.
I hadn't slept, so I was wired.
You were in it.
I was.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
As if the McCrispy couldn't get any better, Bacon and Ranch just entered the chat. The Bacon Ranch McCrispy, available at participating McDonald's for a limited time. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Start your countdown to the most delicious Sunday of the year at Whole Foods Market. The Easter in Bloom event is on. Experience it in stores from March 29th through April 11th with irresistible deals and delights store-wide. Save on feast-worthy animal welfare certified meats like spiral cut ham and boneless ribeye. Then add a flash of green to the scene with savings on organic asparagus. Too busy to cook? Don't sleep on their crowd favorite catering. Find all of that plus Source for Good floral bouquets and more at your local Whole Foods Market.
And so we have then at that point, I don't remember, they left the bedroom, right?
Yeah, this is where they go outside.
They go outside, and then that's the way that her other friend, was it Dior or was it Mari who was like, I saw Saul or something, or...
Yeah, so before Mariama comes up and she says that, but before that is where they're having the whole conversation where I believe it's Dior saying it to her, saying like, basically your friends are saying, if you can't do this, let's leave. Like if you're not happy,
let's go.
Let's not fucking do it.
I think that's Dior's the one's telling her that.
Yeah.
And it's the way that Fanta's the one that's trying to convince her, like, no, you need to stay. Like, he's only here 3 months out of the year. The rest of the time we can have the house to ourselves. Like,
and even then Dior's like, she's saying all this and she's like, girl, if it was me, I would drain his pockets basically. And she said like, I'd have no qualms about that. But then she looks her in the eye and she says, like, if you're not happy, let's get the fuck out of here. But she goes, understand one thing. If you leave, it'll just be you. You will no longer have no mother or father. You won't have anyone because basically she will be ostracized from her family if she chooses to leave this marriage. And so it's just
divorce is not an option, and like running off and like doing all that.
And so,
because I mean, especially like it just happened officially. Like there's like you got married.
Yeah, exactly. So she's like in this, and so it's very sad realization that she has to come to. And yeah, the girls that's where Fanta's being like, yeah, you don't have to love him. Like he won't be here most of the time anyways. Like just let us have this house. Literally. Basically.
She's looking out for herself.
Yeah.
But
this is where Mariama comes up.
Because she thinks that she saw Soul. And then
all of a sudden
there's a fire happening. And it's the way that the bed, I guess, somehow caught on fire.
And this is where I started questioning. I was like, does she know that he's dead? Because her reaction there is what made me be like, they all fully think that he's alive. And so I was like, I don't think she knows that he's dead. And then I was like, did S's ghost start the fire? Solomon, sorry. S, I shouldn't call him S. And then, so I was like questioning because it doesn't really show you. And then all of a sudden it flashes to the, what is it called? That like main head honcho police guy.
The lieutenant,
thing.
chief. Yeah, I guess he's the chief because the other guy's a lieutenant.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, the chief is there. He's talking to Omar because now we can see the scene now. It's the bedroom. The bed was caught on fire.
Yeah,
in
I was
such
like,
a weird
oh shit. I was
way.
like, S really don't.
Mhm.
I said, S really said, my girl ain't sleeping with him.
Yeah,
Like that.
literally, you cannot
Mhm.
consummate your love. I love that song. And so, Ting Ting, they talk about the fire happening and all that, and then the chief introduces him to Lieutenant.
The Inspector Issa.
Yeah, Issa. And he basically is just like, I'm gonna take over this and try to get to the bottom of the case and figure out who is the like arsonist.
And then right there too, we figure out that Issa last night was unaccounted for,
Yeah.
basically because he was feeling
he
faint.
fainted. Yeah.
And that is a very large part of what happens.
Of
So
the movie. Yeah.
So I found, like, whenever it said that, I was like, yeah, that seemed important enough to take note of.
He was absent. Yeah. Because it's a very like whodunit at this point. So yeah, remind me that it transitions to the police think that Saul did it because they were questioning everybody.
Yeah, and they
at
were
the
like,
party.
because how did this happen? They were like looking through. There's no sign of forced entry. He was going through everything, and then he was like, "So, are you telling me this mattress just spontaneously combusted?" And then the other guy looks at him, and he's like, "Yeah, that's basically what the fire department said."
Yeah,
they're like, "We don't know. We can't.
There's nowhere to pin it.
There's no like incineration, like
beginning thing. How fire people can tell like where the fire started.
Yeah, it looks like there's no really sign of arson, which is interesting because then when we find out who did it, it was an actual being, although supernaturally
charged. But
yeah,
who knows?
Exactly. So it's like
maybe he did pyro it.
Maybe got some,
or he could have just got a lighter and I don't know. Who knows?
Maybe.
Or it could have just been like supernatural.
Yeah,
all in itself. Who knows?
That's true. Well, he was there. So yeah,
it could have just been a vessel though.
That's true. But this is where I again put, okay, yeah, these people for sure don't know he's dead yet.
Yeah.
And because this is where he goes to the mom's house. Issa goes to Solomon's mom's house, and she's like, do you have any idea about my son? Where is he and stuff? And she's like freaking out.
Because she said that he went out to see, like she's thinking he's dead, and then he's like,
because like if police comes knocking on your door after that.
Yeah, and
like,
and then he tells her that someone says that they saw him last night, and she's like, wait a minute, what? You saw my boy? Where?
he hasn't been here for at least 10 days. Basically. And yeah, this is where I was like, okay, yeah, he's definitely not there. People do not know that he's dead, and I was like, it's his fucking ghost that did it. But yeah, and then man, Issa has zero respect for this mother.
Oh yeah,
he's just like literally barging through her house, and there's no sort of like search and warrant kind of thing. He's
and
just
she even is like, you can't do this. You can't just come through my house. And he's just like moves her out of the way, and he's just like, where's his room?
Yep.
Like,
I was like, oh my god.
And then she's the way she really kind of cracks. I mean, because what can you do really? But she's just like, oh, it's right there, Yeah. But he goes in there. He's kind of looking around, investigating.
We get a nice long mirror shot there. With Issa entering the room, and there's these like fragmented mirrors essentially hung up on the wall, and we're getting to see Issa like really, it focuses in on him for a long second, and then the shot after it moved from the mirror to the mom entering the door is good. I thought it was a fucking ghost. I was like, oh shit, and then I was like, oh, it's just the mom.
It's just the mama.
So I really liked that because I was like,
it added to the suspense.
It wasn't a jump scare or anything. It was just like all of a sudden the curtain moved, and I thought with how long and unsettling that, like, not unsettling,
it felt like it was building up to something like that.
And so then it was just so subtle, and I was like, oh, okay, that was nice. Oh, and yeah, in the wall there's an A+S and a heart.
Oh yeah, and he takes a picture of it. Yeah,
because that's when Issa starts going, oh, maybe Ada, not just a friend.
Yeah,
because she had said that,
because
like,
right after that is where he starts questioning her. He brings her in for questioning pretty immediately.
She says, I only slightly know him.
Yeah, because he's trying to like, where is he at? Where have you seen him? She's like, well, he went out to sea. I don't, and I don't really know him. Ooh, but
interesting.
She's
it kind of tastes like a pumpkin pie.
Really?
I don't know if I like this. Any of y'all like blood and honey out there?
Eek.
Jeffrey, can you drink? Do you like this? It's beer. I put my mouth on it though. Never tried it. See if you like this, because I don't like it. Can you drink beer? Do you like beer? I'm 22. Okay. I was like, I don't know how old you are. If you hate it,
Cut this
no
all out.
pressure. Yeah, cut all this out. You can leave it in. Jeffrey, say hello to the podcast.
Hey, what's up? It tastes like Hawthorne for me.
For like what?
Hawthorne.
Is there?
Like you know those like sour taste like fruits.
Oh no,
No, I don't think I tried that.
I don't.
It's just people don't eat it.
Yeah, probably not.
Okay.
Do you like it? Not really.
No, it's
okay.
You don't
Just
have to drink it.
you can set it in the corner. I'm gonna open this. It's okay, really. I can drink it. I'm being a little bitch. Here, I'll drink it.
Okay.
I was just like, if somebody else will actually enjoy this, though, I'll let them have it. But you don't got COVID, right?
I do.
You do. Great.
We all have it. It's okay.
Okay, resume.
Okay,
Tastes
yeah.
like a pumpkin pie. I don't like pumpkin pie.
Don't drink it. Open up another one. It's okay.
I don't want to waste $2.75. I'm a broke bitch.
It's up to you.
That's a whole
Caitlin.
taco I could have had. You know, at Taco Casa on weekdays 2 through 5, they've got is $1 burritos.
Really?
I didn't know that. I was
Cool.
real depressed the other day, and I
Mhm.
needed that to make me feel better.
Yeah. You love your taco casa.
I do,
I've never
and-
had it before.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
it's probably trash.
I can't say I've never had it before.
Anyways, they are
Um,
questioning Ada, though.
They're
Ada.
questioning Ada, and they're trying to get to the bottom of like where Saul is, because someone said that, I think it was,
They're accusing her
Mariama.
basically of being like an accomplice
Yeah.
and setting the fire to her wedding bed. Because, yeah, they
Mhm.
had said that, like, Mariama had said that, yeah.
and they were linked, like they were rumored, or not rumored, he thinks that she was like romantically involved with him, so she
Mhm.
obviously knows where, something about it, but she does not really at this point. She's just as lost
Yeah,
as
she's-
everyone else.
she's
She's
like,
like,
"I
she doesn't
don't
know what the
fucking
hell is
know."
happening.
And she keeps,
Yeah.
like, trying to tell them that, but they're just
Mhm.
not believing her. And this is where she finally is like, he's gone out to sea. Like, I have no clue where he is.
Mhm.
He's gone. All of them are gone.
Mhm.
And at this point,
Fed up.
Issa's sweating, like, a lot.
Yeah, he's not okay.
He makes a point to, like, open the door and yells, like, I told you last week to get this AC fixed.
Mhm.
And then,
And-
so this is where I was like, I wonder if he's got some sort of sickness or something. Like, I was like, something ain't right with him right now.
And so then he goes out. You can tell he's sweating profusely, and
He
he's
looked like
not.
he about to
yeah,
puke.
he's not feeling well. And so even like a police officer who's walking by has to ask like if he's okay, and that's the way he's like, let her go. We'll question her later. We're done for the day. We'll do it tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And so then also, I guess he goes home or whatever, right? Because then it starts to show the girls are getting sick, or at least Fanta.
Yeah, so he goes to leave. This is where we get the scene of the, like, Ada leaving, and her dad takes her phone and, like, sitting there accusing her mom.
Mhm.
He's like, if you
Would have raised
like,
her better.
yeah.
Mhm.
He's like, then this
She wouldn't
wouldn't have
be
ever
here. Yeah.
happened, kind of thing. And then, like, yes, then it shuts to him. He's, like, not driving. He's walking.
Yeah.
He's going for, like, a walk, and these taxis are, like, being like, no, they're not taking him anywhere.
Mhm.
And then he sits down on the corner, like on a sidewalk, not a corner. Sits down on a sidewalk, and then it flashes to Fanta. And yeah, I was like, Fanta's sick now too.
Mhm.
And then it was like, Mariama has fainted as well. Like,
Everybody's
everyone
getting
is
sick.
fainting.
Yeah. I was like, why are the girls getting sick?
Yeah. I was very confused. I was like, is this a zombie movie? I thought
Yeah.
it was ghosts.
And at this point already, I'm my question right here is have the men possessed the girls now? What's happening?
So I didn't clue in until
Mhm.
they were at the house, and I saw their eyeballs, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh shit, they all possessed.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is where I guess the music happened that you liked.
Yeah, where it's like it was building up the intensity of the scene, and like I didn't know what was about to happen, but we have the
They're all
girls
walking
because they're all
barefoot,
walking
too.
barefoot. They're all walking in the street, and they're making their way downtown.
Walking fast.
To the place where I guess the owner of whoever's building that tower.
Yeah.
And so they get to his house, and it's the way that they're inside the house, and they're kind of all posted up, and it's the way the dude and his wife walk in, and they don't really notice him at first until
'cause
like they get to the stairs.
clearly,
It's in the
like,
dark.
They're kind of
it's like-
intoxicated too.
yeah.
Like they're having a good time.
Probably came from date night.
They were probably about to go fuck.
Yeah.
And
then they all of a sudden see these girls, and
They're
they
like,
have
"Oh."
like very white eyes. They look like they're possessed.
it looks terrifying.
Hmm. They're very scary. And then they start telling the dude that he needs to pay up. He needs to pay them the money that they owe them, the 4 months, which was like something like 22 million or something. It was like some very high number.
It was
like
32.
32 million.
32 million.
Yeah.
Because it said building 13 is the name of the tower site.
Yeah.
But yeah, $32 million or whatever their currency is.
And so it's these
4 months
and
wage.
so if you can just imagine, it's these girls, but they're being possessed by the guys, and they're talking to him as if they are the guys, and this dude just like confused out as fuck. Like
Yeah.
he doesn't know what the fuck is
Heard
happening.
these women like get out of my house.
Yeah.
And they call the police, and they're
so
like,
they're just they're making their threats, and like if he doesn't pay up the money, they're gonna do something.
and see, at this point I was like, did he send them out to sea to die? Like, did I was thinking, did
that or
he give
something.
them some sort of option to like go do this overseas? And they were like, okay, yes, like it had more, like more money was attached to it or something.
Or it also
And
felt
then-
like it would justify why they're there, like blaming
Yeah.
him for everything.
Yeah, and then I was like, did he
Yeah.
like purposely sink the ship? And then it turns out it was just a natural disaster. But yeah, so at this point, my mind was like, whoa, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, and it's the way that the next morning, I think it's Fanta or Mariana
I think it's
who wakes up.
Or it's even just maybe another girl. I don't know.
Well, just her feet are bloody.
Yeah,
and
her feet are
and
cut
she has dirt on her, so it
And
just
she
makes
has
it
no
seem
clue what
and no
happened.
recollection of what
Yeah.
happened the night before. So then after that we get the virginity test.
I just put, what the fuck?
With the mom waking up Ada, and she's like, we're taking you to go get a virginity test because her dad asked for it. And so we get to the doctor, and that's literally what they did. He put her on some stirrups, and it just seemed really uncomfortable.
Yes, it
poor,
did.
poor her. And I'm sure that people do probably have to go through that sometimes, forcibly. And that was just weird. I was like, wow. Ooh. That's like
I liked how
that's such a like traumatic invasion of privacy
It
for a
is.
person, like
Yeah.
very degrading.
I mean,
but
I
yeah.
imagine it's very similar to what is a pap smear,
Mm-hmm.
because that's exactly how you got to get
Yeah.
set up
But
for
that's
that.
a whole different thing.
Yes, I mean, they're not checking to see if you're
Yeah.
a virgin, but I mean, they still put,
Yeah.
you get those little metal thingies and it opens you wide
I mean,
up.
I don't know, but yeah.
And they're scraping around on the inside. They're taking swabs of your
Ow.
uterine lining.
That doesn't
And the last
sound-
time I got one done, they were like, hey, it's a student teacher day. They're like, do you mind if these kids sit in?
Oh my god.
And I was like, what is this, fucking show and tell?
on your
To your
cooter,
vagina?
on your
Yes.
charcuterie.
I'm on my charcuterie board.
Jesus.
It was so embarrassing. I was like, okay.
Like
okay.
I didn't whack.
I couldn't just tell them no. They like poked their head in, and I was like, I'm already in the fucking stirrups, and
Yeah.
I guess
Should have been
yeah.
like $5 a head.
Come
$5 a
in.
head.
You want to invite the whole rest of the office? Let's
Should
go.
have made some money on that.
I should have. Pussy worth it.
For pussy bomb. And so anyways, we have them telling him like, they're gonna burn down his house or burn down the building if he doesn't give them the money. Oh wait, we got past that. The virginity test. That's right.
Yeah.
And then that's happening, and that's really uncomfortable. I think it's just because like that happened, so that's a thing.
And we also
And
see
then
Issa as being seen by a doctor as
because
well.
he's getting his blood drawn and taken, I guess, to check out what's happening to him. And it's the way that she gets dismissed, and it's funny because then it's just like, congratulations
Your daughter's
to the
a
mom. Your daughter's a virgin.
I put the puke emoji.
I love how she's just like, can I just get my phone? You
Yeah.
got what you wanted. And so she gets her phone back. She is leaving and walking out of this clinic, and it's the way that Lieutenant Issa sees her. And so he like is he's getting away from the nurse as she's still taking the blood. And he follows her. And he finds her talking to, it's right after she has a conversation with Dior.
Yeah, so she's
Mhm.
she's going through this point we're going, and she's gonna, I think, it flashes to, I think, one of them saying that a spirit got in through their belly button because they don't dress
that's
right.
right. That's right.
I thought that was
Fanta.
funny.
Someone
yeah.
said that to Fanta. Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, but she did get taken a hold of, so it's not entirely wrong. And then, yeah, Dior says, well, the spirits are scared of me, so then they're not going to possess me.
Yeah.
Thought that was funny. But then...
because they're getting sick without any explanation. So it's like the only thing that
And unexplained, like they're waking up with wounds, essentially, on their body and covered in dirt. Like, clearly, their body went and did something they don't know about. But yeah, then, they go to meet up, Dior and Ada, at a little diner of sorts.
That's right, because... Ada got a text and it says that it's Sol and that he wants to meet her like tonight or something like that.
Yeah, 3 a.m. at Dior's.
And Dior is trying to tell her like it's a trap.
It's a setup. This is the fucking cops. Yeah. And then there's something about where they're talking about. Someone said that the guy looked blind, and what was that? I don't remember.
Yeah. I remember I remember that.
They're talking about something, and they said that the guy looked blind.
Saw
Oh, that's right. They call the number. Dior calls the number that texted.
Because they're trying to figure out, like, who is this anyways?
Yeah.
And so she calls it, and the
dude
dude is
like, some guy has to use my phone, but he looked blind, so...
And Dior's like,
and
what?
I was like, what? And so that's the clouded eyes that they all have, the whited out eyes. But then, so then they're... Basically, they go to leave, and that's when Issa approaches her and, like, basically straight up puts her in jail for admitting that S was more than a friend to her.
That's it. But, yeah, he had no reason to imprison her.
No.
And it's the way that even, like, later on when she's in there and then the chief comes in and is kind of like, what are you doing? Like,
yeah, he's like, it doesn't matter. Like, no, like, let her out. And this is where Issa then learns of the boat crash. And this is where I think we all start realizing, like, now they're getting news that these guys are dead.
Yeah.
Because Issa's on the phone with someone who is, I guess, supposed to be in Spain. Like, they're communicating at some sorts. Yeah. And she basically told him, like, you know that
they did find a boat and that it was, like, busted and cut in half. The likelihood of survivors would be bleak.
Yeah. But yeah, then that's when Homeboy comes in and he's like, Issa, you need to be available 24/7. You've gone MIA like 2 nights in a row. What the fuck is going on? Like, are you on your shit? What's going on? And then he basically, the head police dude says it doesn't matter that the girls, like, why the girls broke into the dude's place, because he's done a lot for the police.
Yeah.
So
just like drop it.
Yeah. And he's like, I was like, we love to see how money overrules the law. So good.
And so, it's the way that she's in jail. He's like gets that information, and then at that point, that's whenever he he's watching the security tape, or he's watching some type of tapes, right?
That's when he was watching the stuff about the boat footage. And like talking to the woman. But then she's released, and
oh yeah, that's
she's
right.
fighting with Omar, saying like,
because her husband was there to like for her, and then he's like, you are my wife, you need to come home with me, and she doesn't want to go with him.
She's like,
yeah.
And then Omar makes a comment like, couldn't even get me couldn't even give me a hard on anyways. Yeah. And I was like, I said, sir, that sounds like a you problem.
Yeah.
That ain't that hard to get up.
That was pretty tough to watch just for her, because he was like dragging her by the arm, trying to get her to get into the vehicle.
He had her by like a death grip on her elbow, and I've like been dragged that way before, and it hurts, especially when you got itty bitty arms like she do.
Yeah, and so she's just like, I'm not going with you, and so she ends up leaving him and goes to like some market and sells his phone that he gave her and switches it for like a little burner phone.
Yeah, and I love the way that she was not putting up, because the guy was like 150 and she was like 200,000, and he was like 150, and she was like no. 200, and she fucking wins. Like, she goes back and she's like, basically like, it's 200,000 and no less. And then she goes, and I also would like to get a phone, and so then we can discuss the price there. But I was like, yes, bitch, this is a businesswoman.
I want her shit. And then I think we're looking at Issa, and he's not looking so good.
Yeah. It goes like, and it flashes to, I think with Mariama, them like saying, it says, it's telling her to plunge verses of the Quran into pure water and then dump the holy water on herself and pray and be a good Muslim, and then eventually the evil spirits will be gone.
Yeah, because Fanta is like sick.
Yeah, they're all like, they're trying to figure out what the hell's going on, and then all of a sudden there's some sort of, one of them was like all of a sudden just gone, and there was a weird mist in her room.
It was her humidifier.
Oh, it was her humidifier.
I noticed that too, and I rewound it because I was like, did someone disapparate?
Like,
it was a humidifier.
Like, what is that?
Yeah, I know, but she did leave. Like, she walked away and left. Yeah.
She just dipped, and then then she's there training at Dior is
Dior's
essentially to be a
training
bartender.
Ada, to be
Yeah.
a little bartender. She's still trying to tell Ada that it's a trap to not, meet up Saul.
Mhm.
And so that's whenever at that
Fanta's
point
now back in the
we-
rich dude's house.
Oh yeah, the rich dude's house.
And it's just Fanta this time.
Mhm.
And she's like up on his bed.
Yeah. And she's like, you need to pay this money by tomorrow and meet us at the cemetery, otherwise we're gonna burn the tower down.
Yeah.
And then
meet us at 3 a.m. again.
and then sets his house on fire,
Mhm.
walking out. So there's another fire happening. It's a pretty long shot of like, it looked like a huge fire too.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it did. Because, like, as by the time that she was, oh my goodness, something
Mhm.
bubbling up her muscle. By the time she left and stuff, that was, I guess all the other women were busy setting the fire
Mhm.
everywhere. But man, these ghosties making the woman do the dirty work.
Yeah.
And then I did like that as they were walking back,
Mm-hmm.
one of them, like the police officer or someone tried to like approach them, and the women are basically unresponsive. If it's not that rich dude in front of them,
Yeah.
or like someone they need to directly communicate with, they're just like a
They don't respond.
vessel.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah. At this point, for some reason in my notes, I said, "Oh, plot twist: Saul is in the policeman and the lieutenant."
So Solomon had possessed Issa, and he's come to talk to Ada now, because we flashed to Ada
That's right.
waiting for that 3 a.m. meetup
Mhm.
that Solomon had
That's right.
texted her to ask her to
And meets her at her place or at the house or whatever, wherever
Dior's,
she's at.
yeah.
Dior's, yeah. And yeah,
she
gets
sees
freaked
Issa
out.
enter, and she yells out the window like, "Solomon, the police are here," kind of thing, like,
Yeah.
"Get out." And then
She realizes that it's him because he's like, "It's me," and then she
the
looks in the
reflection
mirror.
was Solomon.
Yeah, it shows like his body is
And I was
actually
like,
there.
this is played in on the mirror images of before. I see.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and so, man, that was really sad, because then they have like a moment.
Mm-hmm.
One of my kids just messaged me, "Coach, are you at Taco Casa?" No, I'm recording, Kesley.
And so that's funny. They already know. And so you have a doppelganger out there.
I do. Who has my car?
She your car is very distinct, like
It
your
is.
car with all the stickers on it. And so yeah, she's kind of freaked out though, because she's like, what the heck is happening? And she goes to find Dior because she's running away from him, but that's when she finds all the other girls possessed.
Yeah, all
And-
the women are sitting there at
mhm.
the bar, and it's
And
like,
Dior is like, all the men are here.
it's so sad.
Yeah. And so they're all possessed.
The boys are back.
And then that's
boys
the
are
way
back in
that
town.
they're explaining how they died.
Mm-hmm.
And
And you're getting shots of the women sitting there, like with their clouded eyes, but then you'll get shots of
the
them.
reflection in the mirrors and the club of the men that are sitting
Yeah.
there, that are in their place. Yeah.
Everyone who is like which person, and it's very.
It gives
It's,
me like Pirates of the Caribbean when like the moonlight would shine on them and they'd turn into like skeletons.
okay,
like,
yes.
they
Now
were,
that you say that, I
yeah.
totally see it.
yeah, like they were the same, but
Mhm.
not. Yeah,
But not. Yeah.
Mhm.
The more
You would. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the way that it would transition from both of them. Like that's
Yeah,
what it gave me.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It was really beautiful, and also super fucking sad. It's
Mhm.
very sad.
Yeah,
It's like harrowing, and I don't know, but yeah.
because it's tragedy. The way like them seas are treacherous. The way they're explaining how they died, how they
Mhm.
thought they were almost there. They saw like this big mountain. And they thought they almost made it to Spain, but then out of nowhere, like a big
Yeah.
wave just came and just some strong wind twisted up the sea and basically killed them.
It's 5 a.m. The boat was
Mhm.
quiet. The sun was rising.
Mhm.
And yeah, then the whipped up. And the mountain that they thought they saw was actually a wave.
Yeah.
And it destroyed them. And one of the people was like sat Ada down and was basically saying like, Solomon talked to me about you.
He
and
regretted that he didn't say bye to you, but it's
Yeah.
the way that none of us could say bye.
and said that like you were the love of his life, and he
Mhm.
wanted to come back for her to be with you.
Yeah.
Like he had every intention of returning
Mm-hmm.
for her whenever he was
When he made that money.
more well off. Yeah.
And so
Which
yeah,
is so sad.
we then go to, after that, the cop, the lieutenant Issa, he's replaying. This is what I was talking about earlier.
Mhm.
He's replaying the video footage of the party and trying to like see what happened, of like stuff that was recorded, and he sees himself in the footage, and he's with the like his eyes all clouded out, and he's like, oh, what the fuck.
Yeah, as it was going through this, I was like, so once I put 2 and 2 together, I was like,
Mhm.
okay, so every time he feels faint, he's possessed. And then I was like, oh, he must have started the fire, and his reflection was seen as Solomon's there. And then I was like, ooh, I hope he sees himself. I was like literally in the middle of typing that, and I was like, oh, yep, there it is. I was like, baby boy, it's you.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, that was so good.
Yeah.
That was good. I liked that.
It was a good twist because I also didn't really even see that coming for the most part.
Yeah, I didn't. I
Other than
wasn't-
earlier when we already obviously knew, but I liked how they put that in there. I was
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, so it was him.
Because I wasn't expecting
Mhm.
that. And the way that his acting was there, like with his reaction, that whole scene as he was
Mhm.
reacting to that was just super believable. It was
Mhm.
very good. He did a
Yeah.
great job there.
Because then after that, he like goes home and he's like cuffing himself to
Yeah.
some whatever pipe.
And I'm guessing basically as the sun sets is when they
it's
kind of
because he's realizing that when the sun goes down, it's like when he
because he starts feeling
gets,
more like
woozy, weak, faint.
as the and so he's like driving home. He's like quite literally racing the sun.
Mhm.
And I thought he switched while driving because he kind of like his body goes lax. Like
Mhm.
I thought I
It
was
had
like,
already
oh fuck,
happened.
it happened. I was like, he's gonna get in a car accident.
Yeah.
But then I was like, oh okay, no. And then he goes and chains himself up. I was
Yeah.
like, and then the way he was sitting with his arm above his head, I said,
And the most
sir, your
uncomfortable.
arm is gonna be asleep.
Yeah, he should have
Sit in
changed
that
himself somewhere
position.
down low, like sitting down. yeah,
Exactly.
to a chair, something like that. I don't know.
I was just like, why that position of all the positions?
And so then we're outside, right? We have the girls at the cemetery and they're counting the money
Yep.
that the dude that owns the company is giving them. And it's where he's like, it's all there, and they're like, nope, that's not enough. And then
Yeah,
they
we're
have
gonna
this man
count it.
dig our graves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They said they're not gonna let him go until he digs all the graves for him.
And they're kind of making fun of him, like as he's working, because he's obviously not used to hard labor. And
Yeah,
so,
and he was like, they said, this is real work. This is the work we did for you, the work that killed us.
yeah,
And I was like, tell him.
that grudge will keep a spirit vengeful.
Mm-hmm.
They won't pass on. They want their revenge in order to cross over.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, they got him digging. And then after that scene, it's the way that we go back to the club, right?
Mhm.
We go back to the club, and Ada
Ada's there.
is waiting for Solomon, who is Issa, which
he got
somehow got out of the handcuffs.
He broke that motherfucker
Yeah.
too. That chain
Uh-huh.
in between was just snapped.
And then he's there, and they're
But
kissing.
they're getting to hug and
they have their
stuff.
whole little moment underneath the lights and stuff, and then we get a love scene
Mm-hmm.
between
And
them,
you're
which is
getting-
kind of also weird because I'm like, it's not him,
Yeah,
but it's him.
I was like, this got to be so fucking weird for Ada. Like,
yeah,
fucking this other dude that is like her lover, but also is not
her
her
lover.
lover. And so
it was weird. I was like, is that considered like?
it
Is
felt
she-
very like.
Is she taking advantage? Is there consent from
Yeah,
both
I know
parties?
that's what I was thinking about. It was talking about like it made me think of our discussion on Get Out. And with those people.
I get what you mean.
I was like, this is kind of very similar.
yeah,
Um,
body snatched.
yeah, but
so through.
yeah,
Excuse me.
they're doing it,
They're
and
doing
it's
it.
really quite beautiful
Mhm.
how that's shot. With not only we're getting a lot of the mirror scene and stuff,
Mhm.
so that we
So you see
know it
both.
really is him.
Solomon and Issa.
And it makes a good point to really focus on Solomon there and not so much like the shots of Issa and her.
It's
I
more
feel like-
Solomon.
yeah, they are most of the time if they're showing his face,
Mhm.
it's in the mirror. Otherwise, it's not. So you don't get a lot of Issa's face until a little bit later you do. But I don't know. It's just so sad, but it's so fucking beautiful the way they did it.
Mhm.
It made me want to cry. I was like, damn, could you
Really
you
feeling
imagine
it.
being in that situation?
Yeah.
Like the person that you
I don't
love
want
so
to.
much is dead and they're a ghost and you're
And
fucking
someone
them in
else's
someone else's
body.
body.
That's
Like,
weird. Yeah.
But I guess
But
like,
I mean, also too, she hadn't really experienced
yeah,
Solomon in that way.
That's
so
true.
it's
which
kinda
is like that also makes me sad because I'm like,
She never
damn,
had to
it's not
experience
like
the real thing.
it's not him
yeah.
in the end. Like it's his soul, but it's not.
But
him.
it is him though, right? Because technically, like
It
it's
is,
what's
but it's not
inside
his
that
dick.
matters,
Oh.
right?
It's the dick that matters.
It's the dick that matters. But well, after that, it's obviously a good little session because they're having some pillow talk and
We are.
he's being really sweet to her once again, like he was at the beginning of the film.
And we get a nice
I-
10 out of 10 good nip shot.
Mhm.
5 boobies. from us.
boobies, and it's the way that I don't remember the dialogue quite
Oh,
specifically.
I wrote
but
it down
yeah,
exactly.
you
I rewound it like
do
every
it.
time.
Okay.
So-
Because it's a lot.
Yes. So at this point, it goes to this like just nice, lovely dialogue, basically saying that she says, "I knew you'd be back. It could only be you. I'll always taste the salt of your body and the sweat of mine." And I was like, oh. And then
It's poetic.
then it cuts to Solomon's voice saying, "How beautiful you are. I saw you in the enormous wave which consumed us. All I saw was your eyes and your tears. I felt your weeping drag me to the shore. Your eyes never left me. They were there within me, pouring their light into the depths."
That's so pretty.
And I was like, ugh, that's so beautiful. And then also all the imagery of the eyeballs, and that's how we like knew the other people were possessed.
yeah.
And yeah, and then
And the power of love.
I know
It
it's
brings
like
you back.
in his last moments, all he saw was her.
Yeah.
And it's just so sad. Yeah. But then cuts to Issa basically waking up and
in
being
the
like,
morning. And I love how the cop, he's just like, oh.
"I guess we fucked."
Yeah, literally. And he's just like, "I guess I'll just put my clothes on and walk away."
Walk away,
like,
yep.
not even mentioning anything. Like, hey, what happened?
Like,
Like, because obviously he has no recollection, but he's just going to wake up naked
He's
next
just
to
like,
her. Yeah, I love it. I love how it's just like he just puts
another
on the clothes and
day,
just leaves.
another.
Yeah. Sexual seduction.
Love
Something
it.
like that. And so, yeah, they, oh, and then after that, it's the way that, like, I guess Fanta's mom is walking through the house and sees the money
Like
on
a
the floor.
trail of money.
And I'm like, oh my God, as Fanta's just like knocked out with all the money around
Yeah.
her in the bed. It was a funny
I
shot.
was like, okay.
Yeah, and I thought it was funny because like of all characters, it would be Fanta who has all the money, like
Yeah.
just like with her in bed.
After everything, how she was talking, yeah.
Like her character.
But then also very interesting that she was so lax with it enough to let it drop.
She was just like,
Of course,
"Okay."
she is in a she was not herself. She was not
Yeah.
in a, like, she was not coherent.
Who knew?
But
yeah.
and then Issa goes back to the
Chief
almost a
or
doctor.
whatever.
Yeah, the chief dude.
The chief and is basically like case closed. And it's the way I'm thinking like,
He puts down the little flash drive and then he just dips.
yeah, and I'm thinking the same thing. I'm like, how is this case closed? Like, what? Nothing's resolved. How?
you're
And
not
it's the way
gonna
that the
explain
chief
yourself.
asked no questions. The chief was just like, okay,
Okay,
so
and he just
what I
walks
asked
out.
for, let it go.
And it's so weird. And then so at this point, I was like, I wonder if he will be possessed forever. Like if
Maybe Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
yeah,
comes
and
that
then
night.
like every single night, like Ada gets to be with him, but I don't know.
That sounds like a lot of like sleep deprived
It honestly
deprivation.
sounds so sad. I
for Issa.
yeah, Issa, and then also like that's not healthy. Like you got to let him go
You
at
gotta
some
let go,
point.
yeah.
He's not there.
Well, he has to let go because that's not
Yeah.
fair that he's taking over someone else's body. Unless
True.
they come to like some like very happy mutual agreement where I don't know.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I don't know, but
and then we get to Miss Ada, and she's having her little closing monologue.
which I wrote all that down too.
Uh-huh.
She's asleep basically there, and she's like waking up as Dior is setting up the bar again, basically. And Ada's monologue begins as you are watching Dior set up. So it's a very just like picturesque scene. It felt so warm in that moment. Like it felt,
And a lot of these scenes too, in the scene too, it's like you can hear the ocean in the background.
yes,
so it's
it
very
was such a
calming.
very like comforting spot. I felt like, because I remember having breakfast once, like in Hawaii, just like
It's
overlooking the
nostalgic.
shore, and everything felt exactly like that. And it was just so nice being right next to the ocean. And I really loved it. But so it took me to like a safe
That
place like
moment.
that. But basically she says, some memories are omens. Last night will stay with me to remind me of who I am and show me who I will become.
I am Ada.
Ada, to whom the future belongs. I am Ada. And then
Yeah.
it cuts to credits and it just says Atlantique. It was beautiful. I loved that ending.
Yeah.
I was like,
I wrote down that like some memories are omens. I wrote that part because that stuck with me. But yeah,
oh, I rewound it like 18 times because I was trying
was
to get
good.
all of it. I was like,
you liked it.
I don't want to have to look through the whole script
You
again.
liked it. It's boo time.
Boo time.
Boo time. Boo time. So,
me get it, Stevie.
Caitlin,
You go first always.
I will give it 3.5 boos.
Really?
Yeah, let me give it 3.5.
Why is that?
I felt like it was a pretty good story plot. some of the transitions I didn't feel like all too good, or I just didn't really like, I guess, as much. I thought like some things were just a little abrupt. I thought that, this would have made a really good like series,
Oh,
like
yeah.
a limited series, like 8 episodes to really explain everything. Because I felt
So
like
where
in
we
the-
get like
a
a
little more
hour-long episode or something.
Yeah, exactly. Just get a little bit more, because that's what it gave me, because it was just like a lot condensed into a lot of big ideas condensed into an hour and 40 minutes. But yeah, other than that, I mean, it's not like, yeah, like I would say like it's a good film. I wouldn't say like this is bad, but I'm not like, oh, this was such a great, like over, like, yeah.
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 Good.
But I liked it.
Yeah. I
The twist was good. I will say that, like, him being possessed, and like I didn't see that coming, so
I
that
didn't really.
was.
I mean, I
liked
like
that.
saw Issa getting sick, and then I like started putting 2 and 2 together, like when Fanta and them started getting sick, but I wasn't expecting him to be S.
Yeah, but I think I also like had like a little bit of a like. I'm also confused as to why like the men all came into the girls, but yet Saul got to come into his body.
I think it
That
was
was-
mainly because he wanted to fuck.
Right? Because that's
I
how the
don't-
plot goes.
Yeah,
But that's what drives the story
it
and the
had
narrative. But yeah, so that's why I was like,
and maybe because the rest of them, I don't know, because I feel like they must have possessed the woman who were closest to them, like their brother or their lover or something. But then I don't know.
yeah, I don't know.
Because
why
then
didn't he possess
Mariama
Ada?
didn't seem very, I guess because he needed to talk to her. And I guess maybe because the rest of the men were okay with not coming back to say goodbye. Because
Yeah.
they didn't really say goodbye.
Yeah.
They came back to get their money.
Yeah.
And then he came back
But
because
then also,
he,
like, but they came to back their money for their families, because like they're dead anyways. What are they
Yeah.
gonna do with the money?
yeah.
Yeah.
They're giving it to, to their family. But, I mean, they were due that
Yeah.
at least. But none of them were coming back to, like, say a farewell. But S was. So,
So what's your boo rating, boo?
uh,
What you thinking?
I think.
Don't let my rating like affect your rating.
I
Obviously.
think I honestly really enjoyed it, and I want to go back and watch it again without having to take notes, so I could really get the
pay attention.
full gist of it. Yeah, I honestly am inclined to give this like a 4.5.
Give it a
I really
4.5.
liked it. But as we kind of discussed in like Get Out, I really like those sharp transitions. And so all of the like transition shots with the ocean and then just how kind of fast everything was. I like a nice slow burn, but then this one, because it was so much information,
Yeah.
I liked the artistic takes that they used to give us some of the information. And it wasn't so...
It
was-
wasn't as art house as
Ganja and
Ganja and Hess,
Yeah,
but
no.
like still gave me like that type of like
Yes.
films, Cannes Film Festival, obviously, like Sundance type of like an indie film type
This
of
is,
vibe.
an artistic
Yeah,
indie film.
that's what it gave me.
Festival vibe, yes, for sure. And so I personally really enjoyed that, and the sharp transitions and everything. The acting was very believable, also from like everyone.
Yeah, especially Issa.
It felt very much like we were just in it. I don't know. Everything felt like super believable, almost like found footage, but not. You know,
Yeah,
like it.
I can see that.
Without the rocking around. It just felt very raw.
I like
The
that.
emotions were raw and stuff. So for me, I think I would give this one a 4.5. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I do want to go watch it again.
Do it.
So that is 2019 Atlantics.
Atlantics.
From your
Atlantique.
boobies. Atlantique. You get a 3.5 and a 4.5.
4.5. So it makes it a 4. Average.
Yeah, solid 4.
Yeah.
Solid 4. But as always,
We are in the lovely Rogue Media Network studio.
that's right. They take great care of us.
Yes,
We've
they
got
do.
new friend here who doesn't like my beer,
Mr. Jeffrey,
Mr. Jeffrey.
taking good care of us out there.
He looked in. But yes, it's been a good time. And if you want to listen to us or any of the other lovely Rogue Media podcasts,
You can find
networks.
us on
multiple platforms, the 2 biggest ones being Apple.
and Spotify.
That's right.
Spoofy.
Spoofy. You can find us anywhere else, though. And or on roguemedianetwork.com.
Yeah.
Yay. But if you are listening there, please don't forget to
Rate, review,
and subscribe.
and subscribe. Yeah.
That's right. It's the only way we can get ahead in anything.
Like, comment, and share.
That's
All
right.
of that wherever you can.
forever. And you can also find us on exactly one social media platform, being
At Boo Bays Podcast.
that's right, it's on Instagram, but at Boo Bays Podcast, and that is
BOOBAES, and that's Boo Bays, not Boo Babes, because we're your Boo Bays.
that's right.
Yeah.
And I believe that's
all we got for you folks. Yeah.
That's
But
all, folks.
until next time,
Bye, bays.
bye, bays.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.